this, my dad, I'll get you the plans and drawings, 4 months, promise, 6 months, promise, 7 months, promise. So trust but verify. Go through as many people as you can and just figure out exactly who is telling you what. Look at it on a sheet, and that's how you'll find out the truth.
Got it. Perfect. So then, yeah, if you guys want to share.
Run a background search on people. There's specialized databases to do that. And sometimes you find that they do have a criminal past, which is a great achievement in Colombia. Like when you actually have a criminal past here, you really worked very hard for it, and you really do not want to be in business with that person. And yes, they have a criminal past, they have an active investigation against them. They've even been sentenced, but somehow they're out and about doing business like it's nothing. True story.
How would you do that?
Badge of honor.
How did I do that?
No, how would you verify? Don't search my name. That's another story. Where do you search?
There are specialized databases that we have access to.
I'll give a shout out to Trora, TRURA. That's what we use at Robin House. We do background checks on everybody, and it checks over 2,000 lists. Disclaimer: I invested in their Series A.
So like things like this.
No, but there's a public way to verify whether someone has been sued. Seriously, through the court system, you can do that.
Perfect. So we'll create like a resource page, resource network, so that anything that, for example, all the brokers that you guys went through, all the architects, all of this process to do the backhands, we'll have that available for the people inside of this community, so you can access that immediately. So you don't have to worry about where am I going to find my architect? Where am I going to? We already did the work for you guys, right? To make it super simple. And then if you guys have the same things, we can figure out how you guys can add that into the resource, so we can continuously help each other through the network. All right?
I have a completely opposite opinion. I respect all that, but I don't go through a million people, right? You get your estimate from one place, and then another place, and maybe a third place, but that's it. You go with who you feel comfortable with. I operate based on trust. In your previous lives in the US, you may have been in finance, consulting, whatever. If a person's using a spreadsheet, if a person is able to show you their material costs, if they're able to walk with you through the journey, show you examples of what they've done before. My Checkmate network, actually my builders have my Bank Colombia, and they just text me what's your PIN and what's your dynamic password to make the payment for the maid, the Airbnb. So you want to find your trusted little network that you can work with so you can truly scale based on trust to delegate. So find who works well with you. I don't want to operate based on fear and uncertainty, right? In Medellin, I'm here to build my own team, and I want you to find your team, people that work with you. You're going to find your designer, you're going to find your architect, your lawyer, and operate based on that kind of trust. Nobody's ever stolen any money from me. But also, I've had friends that have been scoped, and I've helped them get through that process. So when I keep it real, if I have an Airbnb guest, I tell them about the dangers of certain things, right? Who to trust, how to trust. But in the end, you need to develop your friendship network here, and it's possible. Don't operate based on fear.
I think as well, if you want to mitigate risk, reputation is key. So again, do some background research on them. But to mitigate that, if you go and invest into a large hotel group, for example, that have over 500 hotels around the world, that's a different story.
What a plug! Well done, sir. What a plug! A master class in sales right here. Are you that nomadic closer guy? You gotta look him up. He's great.
So making sure that you guys trust but verify, I think it's super important. And then also the power of a network is making sure that everyone here is super trustworthy, and we can continue to build that up. So if you can find people that you trust, this is amazing. But before you get to that place, you gotta verify the heck out of these people. You can't put yourself at risk. So making sure that you guys go through that process is super duper exciting. So what are some of the, so some of you guys have already built out some things. Tell me a little bit more about this permit process, you gotta know the cousin of a cousin of a brother of a friend to do anything here. This is the story that people have coming in. Is that true? Are there ways to simplify it? What are all the proper ways to make things happen? I kind of want to hear your experiences actually building things out. Who would like to go first?
I wish it wasn't true, but it is. So my business partner, like I said, has done a billion things, and he has contacts. They weren't the right contacts this time. So then we had to go through one of his architects whose uncle knows the guy that was in charge of our license and who owed him a favor. And it's like, literally, like, what? So it's like, it's not enough to know 90% of the curaduría if the 10% you don't know is in charge of your license. Like, go network, because you gotta find someone that knows that person, or else they're gonna expect you to pay them extra. It's called jam here. It's so sad. It even has a name, mermelada, to bribe people. So it's just like, for us, we're doing a project with other people's money, and it's like, okay, well, we can't have bribery going on, even though it's cheaper, faster, like less headache. So what was the right way to do it? Who knows this person? And that's what we had to do.
That's interesting. I've worked in Nigeria and the Middle East and different places. On the accounting books, that's called Reese money, right? But I have investor friends that are building resort communities, and sometimes you have to do certain things to develop the local community that's around you, right? So you need to use a slightly different mindset than an American business, right? Because when you end up building something big here, you want to fuel the community as well, and you have to feed the community, and you have to employ the community. See, my approach is very different. Syria, I'm from Syria, I built a home there, but that went through the war, so I decided this is my new home, and I'm gonna treat people like my brothers and sisters here, right? And so if you take, so I use my Middle Eastern side there, not my American side, right? So if you take that approach, I'm here to build something with you. Once you develop relations with the mayor's office to build or permit or do whatnot, it's very personal here. You have to let them know that you're here not just an asshole fly-by-night to invest and then leave, right? We're here to build your community as well. We're here to offer jobs, right? And that's the biggest way you can make impact. So that's, again, back to the mindful investment practice. If you do understand, business is about what's in it for the other person as well, and that's okay, right? So it may be called a bribe, but in other ways, if you can help develop the community instead, that's a lot more of a clean vantage point, I guess, for market entry.
As an attorney, I don't want to hear any of that. Thank you.
So like,
Marketing speak for bribes.
yeah. So